trading up in Vancouver real estate market in 26, what nobody tells you until now. Alright folks, I'm Amir Ahmadi from Royal LePage Sterling Realty, and I'm not your typical realtor. My background is what makes my approach a bit different. I have an MBA focused on finance and data-driven decision making, so I bring the numbers and analytics to every transaction. But I'm also a registered audiologist with over 15 years in healthcare. So what does that mean for you? It means that I listen, really listen. With that empathy and people skill of a healthcare professional, combined with analytical precision of someone who understands your investment inside and out. All right, picture this. You're sitting in your current home and it hits you. Oh, the family has outgrown this place. Maybe you need a home office now, or the kids need their own room, or maybe you're just ready for that, backyard you've been dreaming about. But here's the thing. The thought of selling and buying in Vancouver market, oh my God, it feels overwhelming. What if I told you that actually 2026 might be the perfect year to make that move? And so over the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through every single step of moving up in Greater Vancouver's market in 2026. From the first moment you think about it, all the way to handling over the keys to your new dream home. But you know what? Before we dive in, do me a favor. If you're even thinking about moving up in 2026, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the notifications. This video is packed with strategies that will save you thousands of dollars. If you have any question or want to get some opinion on anything real estate related, feel free to shoot me an email at hi@amirahmadi.ca. And if you know someone who's been thinking about upgrading their home, share this video with them, because the decision they make in this next few couple of months will determine their success. All right, so let's get started. So why 2026 is the great year for moving up? Let me tell you about Sarah and Michael. They live in a 2-bedroom condo in Burnaby. They have a toddler sleeping in a converted den, and Sarah is working from the kitchen table. Sounds familiar, right? In our initial interview appointment, the first thing Sarah said to me was, "We don't even know if you can afford to move up." And that's where most people get stuck, in their own head, making assumptions without actual data. So here's where we start, the reality check. I frankly believe 2026 is your year. Now, I'm not cheerleading the market, but we all know about the interest rate environment. After the aggressive hikes of 2022 and 2023, rates have stabilized and are at a very favorable numbers. In fact, just recently, the Bank of Canada held its overnight interest rate at 2.25% in a move widely expected by economists. Market correction has created very good opportunities in certain Greater Vancouver markets. New construction inventory is increasing, giving buyers more negotiation power, and sellers' motivation is higher than it's been in 3 or even more years, so the timing is just right. And specifically for move-up buyers, the most important factor is not timing the market, it's actually doing both the sale and the buy transaction in a stable and steady market. These folks will lose if the market is very volatile and dynamic, as they might have to do their transaction during different market conditions. But in a more stable market, like right now, property valuations are more reliable, people act more reasonably, and by the time you've done your first transaction, the market reality hasn't changed much. This almost guarantees you can successfully do both transactions without losing money or equity. Now, we know that he who asks question is a fool for 5 minutes, but he who does not ask a question remains a fool forever. So let's be fool for 5 minutes and save ourselves a lifetime of regret. The honest question you need to ask yourselves are, why you are moving? Be specific, because this becomes your North Star. What's your actual budget? Not what you think you can afford, but what the data says. And how much equity do you have? This is your superpower. And what's your timeline flexibility? Because this determines your strategy. So by having a clear and accurate answer to these 4 key questions, you and your realtor, hopefully me, can build a strong data-driven strategy to plan your next big move. So here is where my MBA background really kicks in. Imagine you're like many families I talk to who think they have their finances sorted. When we sit down and run the numbers together, we often discover they can actually afford far more than what they thought just by restructuring things differently. But I've also seen situations where people thought they could afford a $2 million home, and a stress test showed they were maxed at $1.6 million. So better to know it now than after you submit your offer. Let's talk about the numbers you absolutely must know. First, your current home value. This needs to be a professional opinion, not just what you paid or what you see online. Second, your net equity. This is your current value minus your mortgage balance, minus selling costs, which are typically 5 to 7%. Third, your qualification amount with the stress test. And fourth, your down payment power, which is your equity plus any additional saving you might have. Now let me show you the formula. If your current home is worth $900,000 and you owe $500,000, here is how it works. Your gross equity is $400,000 minus selling costs at average 6%, which is $54,000. That gives you $346,000 in net equity. If you can add another $50,000 in saving, you now have $396,000 in down payment, which is really powerful. That $396,000 down payment gets you into approximately a $1.6 to $1.8 million property, depending on your income and the stress test. This is the real math based on the real numbers. Now, here is a critical strategy for 2026, understanding your options. You can sell first, then buy. This gives you less stress and a stronger buying position, but you need temporary housing. Or you can buy first with bridge financing. This keeps you in control but costs more. Or my favorite, in a balanced market like right now, you can do a conditional sale where you sell subject to finding a home. This gives you the best of both worlds. Your action items are simple. I would say book an appointment with a mortgage broker. I have 3 that I trust and I'm happy to connect you. Get a professional evaluation on your current home. I can help you with that. Review your credit report and create a realistic budget that includes everything, not just the purchase price. Preparing your home for maximum value. This is where my healthcare background really shows up. I approach selling your home like making a diagnosis. What's the condition? What needs treatment? And what's the prognosis? I recently saw a situation where someone wanted to list immediately, but after walking through with them, my colleagues suggested giving in 3 weeks. They made a strategic update for $8,000. The return? They actually sold for $67,000 more than comparable units. That's a 740% return on investment. So here's your strategic timeline. Starting 12 weeks out, get a professional home inspection before listing. Yes, actually before listing, because you want to find problem before buyers do. Identify the top 5 things that will impact value. Get contractor quotes for necessary repair. In weeks 9 to 7, complete critical repairs like roof issues, furnace problems, or electrical concerns. Paint in neutral, modern colors. Update light fixture for high return on low cost and enhance your curb appeal. In weeks 6 to 4, deep clean your home, declutter ruthlessly, stage at minimum your living room, primary bedroom, and kitchen, and get professional photography done. This is where we can help again. This is a non-negotiable in 2026 in Vancouver. Another advantage we can provide to you in 2026, virtual tours are really expected these days. 3D tours increase engagement by about 300%, and social media marketing reaches at all-time high. Finding your next home. All right, quick pause here. If you're finding this valuable, drop a comment below telling me which Greater Vancouver neighborhood you're considering. I read every single comment and I'll reply with insights about that area. Let me tell you about something I'm working on right now with clients. They found a property they loved, great layout, perfect location, but when I reviewed the disclosure documents, I noticed something that gave me pause. We had a conversation about it, run the numbers on potential impacts, and they made an informed decision. This is what I mean by combining active listening with analytical review. Find your non-negotiables first. If you have kids, school catchment matters. Calculate your commute time at rush hour, not on a Sunday afternoon. Decide on property type. Think about lot size and outdoor space. Then you have your nice to have, like a furnished basement or updated kitchen or home office. When it comes to viewing property, I recommend a 3-step approach. Your first viewing is about emotion. Do you feel at home here? Your second viewing is about logic. Bring your inspector mindset. Look at the bones of the property. And your third viewing is about due diligence. Really scrutinize everything. The things you need to avoid are important. First, don't fall for staging. Yes, I know I told you to stage your own home, but remember that the staging is designed to make you fall in love. Don't ignore strata council meeting minutes. I understand they're really boring, but red flags hide in those documents. And don't skip the neighborhood drive-by at different times of the day. Making winning offers. This is where my finance MBA background really helps. Picture yourself in a multiple offer situation. Everyone wants to go in high and clean, meaning no conditions, but I look at the data differently. I analyze the days on market, I research the seller situation, and I think strategically, not emotionally. Sometimes the winning offer isn't the highest price, Sometimes it's the offer with the best terms, the most certainty, or the most flexibility for the seller. So let me walk you through critical clauses. First is the home inspection clause. This is typically 7 to 10 days and it's non-negotiable unless you're very experienced. Second is the financing clause. Even if you're pre-approved, protect yourself. Third is the insurance clause, especially for older home, or actually for everyone. Fourth, if you're buying a condo, you need additional protection, including a strata document review clause, and add a special assessment clause to protect yourself from surprise cost, and include a rental restriction review if you think you might rent it later. For move-up buyers specifically, consider subject to sale of buyer's property clause. An extended completion clause helps you align timing, and a seller rent back clause can be useful if the seller needs time to move out. Price needs to be data-driven, not emotional-driven. Review the last 6 months of comparable sales, adjust for current market trends, factor in property-specific features, and know your walkaway number before you write the offer. We usually help with all of these. Here is what to avoid. Don't get into emotional bidding wars. Set your maximum price before you start and stick to it. Don't waive the inspection on older homes. Don't skip reading the property disclosure statement, and work with a good real estate lawyer. They'll handle the title search, review contract terms, and register the title transfer. The cost is typically $1,500 to $2,500. Coordinating like a pro. The coordination phase is where people lose sleep, but with proper planning and the right support, it doesn't have to be really overwhelming. You have 3 main strategies. Sell first, then buy. You know your exact budget in this case and you are in a stronger position, but you need temporary housing. Second, buy first, then sell. You don't have to move twice, but you need bridge financing. Or third, my favorite, coordinated completion. One move, no temporary housing, blind timelines, no bridge financing. This is work best in a balanced market like what we have right now. Here is your master timeline. 6 weeks out, confirm financing and book movers. 4 weeks out, schedule inspectors and set up utilities. 2 weeks out, do walkthroughs and start packing. 1 week out, final clean and coordinate keys. On completion day, your lawyer confirm funds and keys are released. The things to avoid are critical as well. Don't assume everything will just work out. Have a backup plan. Don't schedule completion on a Friday, and don't skip doing a final walkthrough before completion. Moving and first steps. Book professional movers 4 to 6 weeks in advance if you're over 1,000 square feet. The average cost is $800 to $2,500 and it's worth it. In your first week, change the locks for security. Test all smoke detectors. Locate your shut-off valves for water, gas, and electrical. Meet your neighbors and take photos for insurance. In your first month, change HVAC filters, inspect your roof and gutters, test all appliances, and document everything. Update your homeowner's insurance right away. Set up a property tax payment plan and create a maintenance bond, typically 1 to 3% of your home value annually. And don't tackle major renovation immediately. Live in the space first and understand how it flows. Another good thing is keeping receipts for home improvement for tax purposes and updating your will with your new property information. The 2026 opportunity. Let me share something my data-driven site has been analyzing. 2026 shows all the signs of what I call a transition sweet spot. It's not the peak, which is risk for buyers. It's not the bottom, which is tough for the sellers. It's the middle zone where both sides can win. Interest rates have stabilized after a volatile period. Market inventory shows balanced supply and demand. This isn't a buyer market or a seller market. It's a fair market, I would say. Employment is stable in the lower mainland. Immigration continues, driving demand, and infrastructure investment is happening. Now, construction is bringing increased options with competitive pricing and modern amenities. Here's the bottom line. Waiting for the perfect market means missing opportunities. 2026 offers balance, choice, and achievable path forward. Take action now. So here we are. You now have the complete roadmap from the first thought of maybe we should move up all the way to settling into your dream home. But we know information without action is just entertainment. So here's what I want you to do right now. First, subscribe to this channel. I share insights on the Greater Vancouver's market and strategies that can help you save thousands of dollars. Second, download my free move-up buyers checklist. The link is in the description below with every timeline and calculation we discussed. Third, and the most important, if you're serious about making your move in 2026, let's talk. Book a free 30-minute Zoom consultation. The link is in the description. We'll review your specific situation, run your numbers, and create your personalized action plan. No obligation, no pressure, just honest advice. And here's what makes working with me different. I bring MBA finance rigor, the data, the analytics, the market intelligence. I also bring 15 years of healthcare experience, the active listening, the empathy, and the understanding that this isn't just a transaction. It's your life, your family, and your future. You can always reach me at hi@amirahmadi.ca. My phone number and website are in the description below. Share this video with anyone thinking about moving up. This information can change lives. And remember Sarah and Michael from the beginning? They represent thousands of families in Greater Vancouver right now in the exact same situation. That could be your story changing in 2026. The market is ready. The timing is right. The question is, are you ready? Thank you for your time, and I look forward to helping you make your move.